Mikel Arteta drops huge Arsenal injury updates ahead of Aston Villa clash. Arsenal fans, we have just received a major update from Mikel Arteta, and it could completely change the team Arsenal take to Villa Park. £155 million signing is available. A £75 million midfielder could also return. But at the same time, there are some very interesting developments involving Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli. So, who is fit? Who is a doubt? And what exactly did Arteta say? Stay with me because there's quite a lot to unpack. And before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and hit that like button if you want the latest Arsenal news, transfers, and match analysis. Mikel Arteta has been speaking to the media ahead of Arsenal's Premier League trip to face Aston Villa on Monday night. And the biggest immediate news is that Ezri Konsa is available for selection. Yes, the former Aston Villa defender, who Arsenal reportedly signed for around £55 million last week, has trained well and is ready to be considered for the match. That immediately raises one huge question. Will Arteta throw Konsa straight into the team against his former club? Arteta was asked whether Konsa is available, and the Arsenal boss gave a very straightforward answer. Yes, he's available. He's trained really well. That is obviously massive news for Arsenal. But the storyline becomes even more interesting because Konsa's first Arsenal appearance could potentially come against the club he has just left. Imagine that. Konsa walking into Villa Park wearing Arsenal red and white, facing the supporters who watched him develop into a Premier League defender. And when Arteta was asked whether he expected Villa supporters to boo Konsa, the Arsenal manager gave a typically cheeky response. He said, "I hope so, but I don't know, but it's not down to us." That tells you Arteta is certainly not worried about the atmosphere. But the bigger question is whether Konsa starts or begins on the bench. Now, let's talk about another major name, Bruno Guimaraes. The £75 million midfielder missed Arsenal's opening Premier League fixture against Coventry after suffering a knock during the Community Shield victory over Manchester City. And Arsenal fans have been waiting for an update. Arteta revealed that Guimaraes has been back out on the training pitch. The Arsenal boss explained, "We just managed the last few days with him. He's been out on the pitch doing training sessions, but we need to manage the load." So, is he available for Aston Villa? Arteta's answer was, yes, potentially. And that word, potentially, is important. It means Arsenal are not necessarily taking any unnecessary risks with one of their biggest summer signings. The club clearly wants Guimaraes fit for the long haul, not simply thrown into a match before he is completely ready. But if he gets the green light, having Bruno back would give Arteta another major option in midfield. Now, here's where things get particularly interesting. Arteta was also asked about Gabriel Jesus, and the Arsenal manager revealed that the Brazilian has been absent from training. But this doesn't appear to be a straightforward injury situation. Arteta referred to the numbers in the squad and personal situations, saying, "It's something to do with the numbers that we have in the squad. Personal situations, whatever they are, I think it's clear." That statement is certainly going to generate plenty of discussion among Arsenal supporters. Jesus is entering the final year of his Arsenal contract, and his situation is clearly one to watch closely. The important thing is not to jump to conclusions. Arteta did not say that Jesus is injured. Instead, he pointed towards the current squad numbers and personal circumstances. So this could be connected to Arsenal squad management and the wider decisions being made around the squad. And then we have Gabriel Martinelli. Interestingly, while Jesus has been absent from training, Martinelli has trained as usual. Arteta also described Martinelli's situation as a personal one. He said, "It's another personal situation that we are dealing with," and then added that everyone knows and recognizes the situation, regardless of the eventual outcome. So once again, Arsenal fans should be careful about reading too much into the situation. Martinelli is training, Jesus is currently absent, and those are two very different circumstances. What does this mean for Aston Villa? Now let's put everything together. Arsenal started the Premier League season strongly, defeating Coventry City at the Emirates. Meanwhile, Aston Villa had an absolute nightmare opening weekend. Unai Emery's team were beaten 4-0 by Brighton at the Amex Stadium. That result means Arsenal currently sit above Villa on goal difference. But this is Aston Villa we're talking about, and with Emery facing his former club, Arsenal should expect a very different challenge at Villa Park. There will be plenty of emotion around the game. Konsa could potentially make his Arsenal debut against his former club. Bruno Guimaraes could potentially return to the squad. And Arteta has some interesting decisions to make regarding Jesus and Martinelli. So now I want to hear from you. Should Mikel Arteta start Ezri Konsa against Aston Villa? Or should he keep the £55 million signing on the bench for his first appearance? And if Bruno Guimaraes is fit enough, would you put him straight back into the starting 11? Let me know your predicted Arsenal lineup in the comments. And if you enjoyed this Arsenal update, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because we will keep bringing you the latest Arsenal news, transfer developments, and match analysis. We've got a huge season ahead, and you definitely don't want to miss what happens next.